And now to our major story of the day. On Tuesday, the Benue State Governor, Samuel Otom, a member of the APC, says he has been shown the way out of the party by some people in the state and he's weighing his options for the future. Yesterday's Kwara State counterpart, Abdul Fattah Ahmed, also a member of the same ruling APC, says himself and other political leaders in the state are gradually being shown the way out of the APC. That statement was made after a closed-door meeting held by the Senate President, Governor of Sokoto State, Aminu Tambuwal, and also Ahmed of Kwara State, Otom of Benue, and leaders of the PDP, which include the chairman of the PDP, Uche Secondas, Governor of Rivers State, Yinsam Wike. All these happened on the sidelines of the prayer for the ceremony to pray for the late mother of a frontline politician in Kwara State, Alhaji Kawubaraje, who leads the new PDP faction of the APC, some of whom have cried out about alleged marginalization in the APC. So today, the Senate President Bukola Saraki is seen at the presidential villa in Abuja. The Vice President and some of the governors of the APC met with the President. After the closed-door meeting, journalists are not giving any clue as to what was discussed at that meeting. But hear the response of the Senate President Bukola Saraki when my colleague asked him about what they discussed at the meeting.
Good evening, sir. So just tell us.
I have no comment.
1 minute.
I have no comment.
So nothing discussed about the new PDP?
Trust me, when politicians tell you no comment, there's really much more to talk about. A lot may be shrouded in secrecy for now, but perhaps in the coming days we will see how this all plays out. With the issues trailing the congresses of the APC on the grievances, the court cases, the factionalization of the party, when the reformed APC group emerged, is the APC set for an implosion? Well, now, let's get some perspectives to this matter. My partner tonight on the program, Dr. Theodore Ekechi, a chieftain of the APC, is from Imo State, and also I guess he's one in our Abuja studio now. Let's get to talk with Dr. Ekechi on the program tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Let me begin by asking you, when the publicity secretary of the main opposition party, PDP, tweeted earlier today that Benue, Kwara, Sokoto, more to come, with a picture
is where it is. When you
the meeting in Ilorin yesterday, and the events of the past days in mind, is the APC headed for an implosion?
Well, I think it would be too quick to conclude, to make that conclusion. If there was any fears before on my part, I think I got some kind of restoration, I got some kind of confidence building when I saw Bukola Saraki and all that the Senate President at the presidential villa today, ostensibly to have discussions with the presidency. I do not think that with this kind of intervention, that what we feared within the party may eventually happen. What I actually fear is the kind of leadership that we seem to be getting with the emergence of Adams Oshiomhole. I would have thought that with the emergence of Adams Oshiomhole, there would have been very deliberate efforts to ensure that nerves are calmed down. There will have been very deliberate, persistent efforts to look for those who are not really feeling good about the outcome of the congresses and find a way to ensure that things are settled as a family. But to the contrary, I think the new chairman of the party has been a little bit more aggressive and has been taking the perspective of quarrelsomeness. And I don't think that portends well for the party. But I think the presidency are beginning to see the signals, and other well-meaning stakeholders are beginning also to get the signals. And I think with their interventions, some of the impunity that we are likely going to see with the emergence of the new leadership of the party may be put in place, put in shape, and the party will be saved. I don't have too much of fears anymore, but I have been exercising that kind of fear before. Take example, what is happening in Imo State now. Just yesterday, there was a release that's going to be a Congress in Imo State. I do not know the basis. I know there was a Congress in Imo State before that had been annulled, for instance, by the court of competent jurisdiction, the Federal High Court in Owerri. Ordinarily, I would think that a party that is very, very concerned with the feeling of the members should have allowed for the appeal which the beneficiaries of the annulled Congress have already made effort to do, and have actually appealed. Beyond the appeal, there is also a motion for a stay of for an interlocutory injunction that had been also filed. The notices had been conveyed to the National Secretariat of the party, and yet, without even considering the merits or demerits of such information that have been conveyed to them, they are just merely going ahead to conduct a Congress in Imo State from tomorrow. And you begin to ask yourself, is this being done in good faith? And I'm very quick to say that it's not in good faith. It's certainly in bad faith. It will appear to me, unfortunately,
let me quickly butt in here and perhaps...
and building the party together.
Sorry, if I may butt in here and quickly ask you this. If you imagine, perhaps, if the party, like what we're hearing, 3 governors leaving the party, and already we've had someone like Senator Dino Mela. He's already put it in a song that he released that is leaving. He's going back to the PDP, and the number of people that we hear are going out of the APC, going into a general elections. Is this not going to be a big disaster for the APC?
Well, that is my feeling, and that is the feeling of every well-meaning APC member. It's not going to be well. It portends a very bad omen, very dangerous omen for PDP to sustain its acceptability and its dominance of politics in the country. I am one of those who shouted and raised alarm to the reaction of our national chairman to the purported defection or to the purported formation of a faction of APC called RAPC. I was going to think that no matter how insensible or irresponsible, in quote, that Adams Oshiomhole, our new national chairman, thinks that the action of Buba is, the reaction he gave by describing him as a non-entity, as a man without a force, was not the best way to address an aggrieved member of the party. I thought he should have called him back. He should have called him, he should have looked for opportunities to hold discussions or audiences with him. It is foolhardy for him to think that a man like Buba Galadima will take such a position without consulting and without having the backing of very strong members of the party. It's very, very foolhardy for him to see it that way. And the reactions and actions, the meeting in Kwara, the utterances of the governor of Benue State, the body language of the governor of Sokoto State, the actions of Dino Malaye, clearly tells you that Buba Galadima is not alone in the move that he's making. So the earlier the party leaders and the major stakeholders, real major stakeholders, those who really believe in the party, the earlier they came together and intervened, the better for us. I do not think we're going to get it right, given the kind of leadership we have presently at the party. And that's my biggest problem, because rather than help to quench the fire, it will appear that the new leadership is actually adding fuel to an existing fire.
But do you think the Oshiomhole-led leadership of the party is capable of quenching this fire as fast as possible so that the worst will not happen?
As a major stakeholder, I'm a stakeholder of the party. I have contributed my own little quota in this party. Besides being a member at the formative stage of the party, I also have the privilege of serving as a director of planning and monitoring of Presidential Campaign Council in 2015. And I feel very proud that I was part of the team that provided the platform and the logistics that actually saw us defeating an incumbent government and then coming to power. Therefore, I am really, really very concerned with the attitude and the posturing of the current leadership of the party. And I'm sorry to use this as an example, maybe because I'm very familiar with the situation. Now, like I was saying before, there is going to, according to the adverts or the publications by the party or the announcements, there's going to be a Congress a new Congress, according to them, in Imo State tomorrow. And you ask the question, just some very few days ago, the National Secretariat published list of state party chairmen in all the states of the Federation. Now, as they plan this Congress tomorrow, the man they publish his name as the chairman of the party, with all his other leading members of the executive, are not in the know of what and how the Congress is going to begin tomorrow. Beyond that, the Constitution provides that you give 21-day notice, 21-day notice to INEC before you hold a Congress. The notice for the Congress was announced only yesterday. Less than 48 hours notice to INEC. How are you going to justify? How are you going to run away from further internal acrimonies and legal battles? Beyond that, you also said that you are going to organize Congress tomorrow, and you have named the panel that is going to organize the Congress. The Congress have been packed in such a way that it's going to be a day after the other. 28th Friday, 21st Saturday, and 22nd Monday. Where is the provision for the appeal panel?
All right, Dr. Ekechi, I'd like to come in here quickly, but because we need to take a break on the program. We take a moment on the program, everyone, and when we return, we'll touch on some other issues relating to the future of the APC, the issues of the right primary, and the controversies in Osun State. That's in a moment. Join us again.